started. So welcome to the party. Get it? Podcast. Party. Welcome to the party. Yeah. Come on in. Can I get an amen for the cornbread commentary? And come and get served like a commissary. We don't always agree like a promissory. Cause Nephew got stats and Unky got facts. And shout out to the viewers cause they always got cracks and jokes. Y'all think y'all funny. Thank you for stopping by. Come on in. Come join the party. Cornbread commentary.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another cornbread commentary. Nephew,
What's up, man?
what's happening?
Another spot.
Another spot.
Another week, another spot.
As you can see, our scenery is slightly different. It's actually very tranquil.
A lot of flowers.
A lot of flowers.
So if I sneeze, don't be.
Don't mind you. I got you. Well, and 2 weeks in a row in the same.
Yep. Quick story. I'm supposed to go back tomorrow, but there's a snowstorm where I live in Connecticut. So I'm here for a couple more days. Driving the snow.
Hey, so just because you got to drive don't mean you know how to drive in the snow.
I don't need to go out there. I got everything I need. Food, TV,
Alright.
game. All I need.
Okay. Well, cornbread commentary, ladies and gentlemen. You see, we're in the same room together. We special guest this week.
Mm-hmm.
We went off last week, and this is actually in honor of Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about Black History Month and so many heroes that you hear about in textbooks, so many heroes that you halfway hear about in textbooks. And so many heroes and people that you have heard of, like Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass. You can go on and on days and just name heroes,
Mm-hmm.
famous. We wanted to bring heroes. They're sitting here off the camera. We wanted to bring heroes that are heroes to us, but also they have a story to tell in regards to growing up where we in Johnston County and Sam and Gail. So, we're going to get y'all on in the pit. So happy Black History Month. Today is the last day. What does Black History Month mean to you?
I mean, we said in church on Sunday, it's not a Black History Month is not about the prayer of Black people. It's, every month, but it's this month. So that's what it means to me.
Okay. We only got 28 days, but
Sometimes 29.
sometimes 29 on a leap year. So happy Black History Month to everyone, not just Blacks and African Americans, but I mean everyone. One who includes, there was a lot of freedom fighters who just happened to be other races. There's a lot of people that helped African Americans in the civil rights era and beyond, even in slavery, become free.
Yeah.
So happy Black History Month to everyone.
Yes, sir. But
It's almost over, but
we're gonna celebrate the last day.
we'll turn up. So
But before we dive into Black History Month, we gotta, with the NFL being over, the main thing is NBA and college basketball. So, some big news out of the NBA.
kind of news.
Some injuries going on, some debuts going on. The first one, LeBron James, he's out indefinitely with a foot injury. He would be reevaluated in 2 weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to ask me about that. Listen, if a man is injured, a man is injured. I think it has something to do with something that Charles Barkley is trying to get management without sitting out games.
Mm.
I saw the injury happen though, and it didn't look like a major injury, which I understand because I've had an injury that didn't look as bad as it was. I understand, but I grabbed my foot, but I never really seen anything else. KD had his injury years ago. I actually saw I noticed buckle. Um, so not a LeBron fan. I'll be honest with you. I feel like LeBron is utilizing this low management.
I am not big on LeBron, but they currently sit 12th in the West in their wins out of the play-in spot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they fare without him. I mean, because Anthony Davis is in and out.
Right.
D'Angelo Russell is hurt right now, and they got some young guys, but the West ain't no joke. So my question to you is: do you think they can make the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
You want me to say any?
What do you think to play in the 8th spot, or I know really the 10th spot?
After all the acquisitions that happened in the West, no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, honest. So, I think uh, um, the NBA trying to write the storyline for LeBron
Mhm.
before maybe they're trying.
All right. Moving on.
All right, thank you.
Kevin Durant, that's my guy, making his debut versus your team tomorrow in Charlotte.
I think I'm the only Hornets fan in the world. So, not as a few more Hornets fans, but it's hard to be considering everything that's happened over the last few years, and then considering LaMelo Ball
Got hurt last
got
night.
hurt last night. I'm not. He looks good.
Mm-hmm.
We could be getting Miles Bridges back. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dicey situation. I don't particularly agree with what he is out for. But I think it's one of those things where they put it under the rug and it's out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have this is going to be Kevin Durant coming out party again. That's my opinion.
KD never really goes off against the Hornets. Every time he has a quiet 27, quiet 27 to be here. So now that I'm here, I was trying to find a way to that game.
The Amtrak.
Yeah, but he's averaging almost 30 points a game, shooting 56% from the field on jumpers.
Once again, I'm not a KD hater, so whatever he does tomorrow, I'm okay with.
Do you think the Suns are a super team?
Yes.
Why?
Look at the roster. Okay.
Only All-Star on the team this year was Kevin
It's not
Durant.
about All-Star. Okay, because we noticed All-Star this year was kind of flat. Everybody was hurt, but I mean, look at the All-Star. You look at the star power. Let's talk about star power versus All-Star. Devin Booker, Chris Paul has been an All-Star. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is knit together. There's been some turmoil between his coach. So you look at a team that was one game away from the finals.
They lost in the finals to the Bucks.
Right. Two years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, same team, same coach, a little bit more power.
So they're gonna say he's a super team.
What it does is make a casual NBA fan like me want to watch the Western Conference Finals now. Because to be frank with you, I wasn't going to pay attention to it up until this happened.
I think it'll come down to those two teams in the Western Conference Finals.
Possibly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have for the NBA, man. And we got more to get into, but
Yeah, before we get into that, we got a sponsor today, and I
Okay.
told you, ladies, that we would have special stuff now. I'm gonna talk about our sponsor, but I told you we're gonna include you into the podcast.
Mhm.
The camera. We're gonna include you into the podcast. It's everybody's podcast. Check me out. Merchandise. Merchandise. Whatever. Merchandise. And it's gonna have Fred's premium styles, barbershop, Smithfield, North Carolina, Wilson Mills Road, Mr. Fred Nelson. All right.
first one you got something familiar. You watch this, yeah, this is your face, but
Yeah,
nah,
Sean Lee.
he got the waves, cut is crispy, beard is crispy,
Make him look good.
and he a Duke fan. So that's hard to do.
That's hard to do. Lord have mercy. But Fred, appreciate you
Mhm.
giving us the merch. And Fred is going to be on the show hopefully sometime to talk about Fred. But check Fred. This is how I get into Fred. So premium styles. The shop is Rich Uncle Grooming, 210 Wilson Mill Road, Smithfield, North Carolina, 27577. He likes to work by appointment, ladies and gentlemen. Our people, let me speak to you, appointments. The days of walking in the barbershop, appointments. If you want to book Fred, go to book. Let me get this right. Go to book.dcut.co/Fred's Premium Styles with a Z. Make that. And we're going to get them. Shout out to Fred Nelson. And we're going to be giving out this merch. We're not going to give it away this week. We're going to be giving out this merch. And this is unique, right? Talking about branding. This is actually a do-rag for the waves. Granddaddy got some waves, doesn't he?
I mean, I missed them wave days, man.
So this is the do-rag for the waves. Actually has Fred's logo on it. Check it out. Branding. Second, I need do-rags.
Red.
Red.
Uh-huh.
And we used to flourish in the back. So auto cat bunch socks. I don't know about you, but I love brunch. Growing up, we couldn't fuck at the brunch. We actually had King Ottoman. So Fred, appreciate it. We're gonna watch out again some more during this segment. So go check Fred out, Fred Premium Style, 10 Wilson Mills Road. Tell him we sent you.
Just a cut. Yeah, you know they charge $100 a cut. Yeah.
I'll take Fred with you like that. But, and listen, Fred is not my barber. I want to say this, but I'm telling you, Fred, nice. Fred's been doing this a long time. Since I can remember. And I say he's not my barber. I don't say that to punch at him. Fred might see my head here very soon. Just to get it up. So shout out to Fred. Oh, we got information at the bottom of the screen. Really quick with it, boy, I swear.
Got to.
All right. Check Fred out. And you got the merch. It's gonna be a giveaway soon.
All right. Now to college basketball. We're going with let's dive into the NC State Duke tonight at 7.
Yeah, let's do it quick too. We want to get to the meat and potatoes of this day.
Yeah. So what's your game prediction for that?
I got State. I'm hoping State. I do. I got State by 8.
Where are they playing? State. I get them State by 10.
That's an important factor. Let's find out because not a State or Duke fan.
Their crowd is what willed them to that win against us. So
no,
I'm gonna use the crowd, Mr. Ed.
I'm gonna say Carolina just really didn't get to play State that night.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just one of the things you look at now. but we needed that game.
Okay, let's keep it about state. State, for the first time in 20,000 years, actually has a decent basketball team. Duke has a mediocre basketball team. Games at Duke
Mm.
changes everything.
Duke, they're gonna get the benefit of the doubt on every call. Pretty much.
Well, we already know that.
I'm going Duke by 10.
Coach K still writes the checks over in Durham, so I'll say State by 2. Takes a better team.
Okay.
That's a tough environment.
All right. Enough about those
Yeah,
guys.
I agree. I agree.
Don't look now, but here come those Tar Heels.
Boy, they looked good last night.
I feel like last time we talked, they was struggling, and 3 games happened.
We talked about 20 times. They been struggling hard this year. Hold up. I don't know what you got over there in the pot. Ooh.
I think that's what Mima cooked over there.
Anyways, we got to get back to the show. I think, honestly, Carolina, I told you they were a low IQ team. Playing the team was a 9-20 last night on the road, but I also felt like Carolina felt like their backs were against the wall and desperation kicked in. And Leaky looked great last night.
I love Leaky, man.
And obviously coming up with Duke, that's been big because that'll give them 20 wins on the season and possibly opportunity to get to the tournament.
We have to win out.
What was the difference last night?
The difference, Armando didn't score. Pete Nance. Pete Nance and Leaky Black. Also, Caleb Love.
That's what I wanted
Caleb
to hear.
Love.
That's what I wanted to hear you say.
Did IQ last night. And he played defense.
That's what I wanted to hear you say.
But Leaky Black was different. I think he might sneak into the second round if his shot is consistent through the tournament.
Yeah.
Because all the scouts,
14 scouts.
they were saying like he's 6'9", guard,
right,
1 through 4.
Right.
If he developed that shot, yeah.
Good win last night. It was a beautiful win too. It was almost like a 20-point lead at one point in time. So 3-game win streak.
About to get a 4. So quick to know from last week: can the Tar Heels still make the NCAA tournament?
I said no last week. A hard no. I don't think for the State's a whole lot, but I also
quad 1 win.
Quad 1, but I feel like we're going to need to get an interview and maybe a second game, if not win the whole thing. But we got to beat Duke.
If we don't beat Duke, we can still make the tournament by winning it or winning 2 or 3 games.
But I'm going to say this.
Because we're Carolina.
I'm going to say this. I'm a Tar Heel. Got hard. I will say that we don't deserve to be in the tournament. And that's as a period. We don't deserve to be in the tournament. But if we get in,
if we win out, we deserve it.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right. See us on Saturday, 6:30. I don't care what you're doing. You should watch this game.
That's the biggest game of our yeah. That's the biggest game of
the ratings were there. This time I think they'll be there because it's a State. Saturday, March 4th, 6:30.
Now it's time for the meat and potatoes.
Meat potatoes. Before we get to the meat potatoes, I gotta give a shout out to Fred Nelson, right? Show some of Fred's work on the screen.
Let me see what
you got.
See what you're cooking up over there, Fred.
Fred, while we trying to get what you got, what you've been cooking up, and I smell something cooking too. Fred Nelson, go see my guy Fred Nelson. Let me tell you a little bit about Fred. Fred's Premium Styles, 210 Wilson Mills Road, Smithfield, North Carolina. That is 25577. I don't think you're gonna send him a letter, but you should go see him. You should go see my guy Fred, right? So Fred's Premium Styles. Shop is Rich Uncle's Grooming. I could be getting this wrong, but Rich Uncle's Grooming at 210 Wilson Mills Road. He works by appointment. Ladies and gentlemen, we said this earlier. The days of walking in the bar shop are over. walk in there, sit down in the chair, and start lying, and then think you're gonna get a haircut. 10 done with that. Technology is evolved, and now you can go book Fred. I check this out. This is where you want to go book it. Book dot. That's book dot the cut dot co// Fred's Premium Styles with a Z at the end. Make your appointment. When he's booked, he's booked. And from my understanding, he stays booked. So Fred was also nice enough to give us the merch, Captain Crunch socks. I might take these for myself when I eat my Captain Crunch. Can't eat it right now. I'm gonna die. And then we got the do-rag. It's actually has Fred's logo on the top. Oh, actually all red. So I know all y'all in West Smithfield, South Smithfield, all over Smithfield, Creighton, Clayton. A lot of y'all need it. I seen it. Come get Fred and then get your do-rag. And get you some waves. All right. I appreciate the love, man. We're gonna keep checking you out. All right. Oh, and it's on the bottom of the screen. Go book Fred, please. Like I said, we might be sponsoring a haircut soon. So better check them out now before we get busy. All right. What's that?
It is time, man.
It's time. Hold on. We got to change the scene a little bit. Woo-wee. All right. Now, we told you we wanted to bring our heroes to the table. And this is the cornbread commentary. And so this is the reason why we actually have the cornbread commentary. It's these two that's sitting in front of me. Come on up to the cornbread commentary. Get yourself in the camera.
So you can slide the chair over.
Slide them around. While they're sliding around, ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell you who these people are, right? We got Wanda Gale, and she goes by Wanda Gale Blake. All right. We got Sam Blake Sr., no middle name. You a bad boy when you don't even have a middle name. I'm just telling you how it is. So, coming to the table, we got some questions for them. We want to talk about our history. And I say our history, but yes, our history as we sit here, son and mother and father and grandson and grandmother and grandfather. So, welcome to the Cornbread Commentary.
Thank you.
Let me get you to turn the mic around. Looking so beautiful today, Mom.
Thank you.
Tony gonna get you right. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to bear with us. This ain't our normal setup, but we making it work. So, for everybody out there, one at a time, everybody tell us who you are.
My name is Wanda Gill Blake,
All right.
and I'm Titus's mother and Tony's grandmother.
I'll be proud to have you here. Let everybody know who you are.
I'm Sam Blake, Titus's daddy and Tony's granddaddy.
Y'all hear where I get that country from?
all the people in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So, all right, all the people in Connecticut, they say, where you from? I say, I'm from North Carolina. So, this is where I get it from. My mom and granddaddy. This is why you say, yes, sir, no, ma'am. Open the door for your people.
Right.
That's what we learned. So, all you people in Connecticut that's watching, this is why I do it. This is why I learned.
So, all right. So we wanted you on this show. I wanted you on the show for several reasons. It's Black History Month, and you guys both, I would say, endured and also lived in the civil rights era. And tell us about what it was like growing up in Johnston County in the civil rights era.
Well, it was tumultuous time. It was scary back then. So much was going on. Martin Luther King had his movement, and we were marching. And at that time, I think that later on, George Wallace was running for president.
Mm-hmm.
So that just added fuel to the fire.
So for the people who don't understand or have knowledge of the George Wallace situation, give us a quick glimpse into that.
George Wallace was running for president, and he was against integration, anything that would profit us. He was against it.
Sounds familiar. So, so you're talking about George Wallace, you're talking about Martin Luther King. I really wanted to touch on integration. And before we touch on integration, tell us, and I'm gonna ask both of you the same question. During the integration, or you hear the term desegregation, is that correct? During that time frame, what was it like for a young African American teenager? This was around 72,
No. It was back about 68.
68. Okay.
Mhm.
So around 68, 68,
Mhm.
middle school, high school.
Well, it was high school. Well, what they did was um, about 68 and 69, it was mandatory for ninth grade down
Hmm.
to integrate.
Okay.
My brother was at Richard B. Harrison, but I had to go to Princeton.
And so for all of you who do not understand or are not privy to, Richard B. Harrison was the black school.
Yes, high school.
What they call it, graded school or African American. What was it?
Richard B. Harrison High
No,
School.
what do they consider our schools? Not necessarily the Negro schools. What the
Well, some of just like the one in Smithfield was what? Johnson
Johnson
County
County
Training
Training
School.
training school, right?
Then it
Mhm.
changed to Johnston Central.
Johnson Central.
Mhm.
So basically, it was the schools for the African Americans to go to, and they were traditionally in our neighborhoods.
Mhm.
And you speak of Richard B. Harrison, you speak of Johnson Central. There was another one out in Four Oaks,
Mhm.
Forest Hills.
Forest
Forest Hills.
Hills. So at that point in time, you got the information and the message that you had to integrate.
Mhm.
What was the first thing that ran through you guys' head in regards to integration?
Well, we were afraid, but one thing we had the village,
Mm-hmm.
our parents,
Mm-hmm.
they taught us. I mean, they even taught us how to eat soup, literally.
Wow.
You don't do it like this. Carrot. They wanted us to be the best we could be.
Set standards.
Mhm.
Setting standards.
Setting standards. They want us to be the best that we could be once we integrated.
Okay. So now, and I'm asking a few more questions, and I know Tony's got questions. So now, you're a little apprehensive about integrating,
Mhm.
and what during the integration process, and be as raw as you want to be.
Okay.
When that process went down, when you walked through the doors, how were you treated?
Not good. Not good. That's just my opinion. It was. Uh, I mean, you can walk down the hall
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to the water fountain,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody will come and spit in it before you get there.
Mm. Wow.
Somebody was spitting before you get there, and our parents always taught us you walk next to the wall.
Why so? Why?
Stay out of the way. You walk next to the wall, but then these guys will come cross and bump into you or
Mhm.
whatever. And also, we had lockers. We couldn't put locks on them. And I went to my locker one day, and somebody had hung a dead possum in there.
Mm.
School was out.
School was out.
School was out that
Johnson
day.
County let school out?
No, Gail let school out.
Okay. School was out. So, Gil, we not gonna get into what you did because I know you. I have some of your temperament. So that's I guess somewhat of a reflection. I wouldn't even call it reflection. That is the rawest, truest form of what some may not understand and know about. The integration there. We see the Remember the Titans movies all the time, and we think they just went to the same football field and they all just made up. That's not so.
Mhm.
So that was in Princeton, granddaddy or daddy, pops, over in Smithfield.
It was we were a little bit different because we were in a larger schools and everything.
Okay.
We had some mild things to happen, but they didn't go very far. That was the first year that we went to Smithfield High School.
Okay.
Smithfield Selma was being completed. And the next year we went to Smithfield Selma, which was my 10th grade year. And we had a kind of rough start out because you had all these schools consolidated there together, and all of them bought their differences with them, and the racial thing was kind of real good getting going, but we never really got into any knockdown dragouts. It was always, we had enough staff there to keep it down and to try to get level things off. So mine wasn't as bad as hers. It had been a small school. I think they had what, 6 blacks in there?
7.
7. And we was in a class of 367, but about half of them were black. So we didn't get it. And the teachers weren't good. I recollect Mr. Ennis, Reginald Ennis. We had him for health and PE. And we had an incident where the N word was used in the wrong way, and he felt that before it got too far. He just shut the class down and told everybody what was what, how it was going to be. And if you didn't do this, you didn't do that, was going to be some physical altercations. So by him doing that, that stopped a lot of things, I do believe.
The last 3 years, I have researched Emmett Till,
Yeah.
and I wanted to ask y'all during that time. I don't know if it was. Obviously, it's not social media and stuff like it is now. How did y'all find that news out, and what did your parents, tell y'all to do?
How we found our news out was we sit and watch the radio.
Sit and watch the radio.
Yeah, not the TV.
Wow.
You didn't have TV, you watch the radio.
Without my mind.
About like the Walters.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm. And newspapers and word of mouth.
So you had to talk to each other.
You actually
Yeah.
had to communicate. ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen.
Yes.
You got to remember during this time frame, black folk didn't have too many telephones.
Right.
We didn't. One person in the whole block might have had a telephone black, so we paid them. I think it was 10 cents a call then, until everybody kind of made a little bit more money, can afford to get the telephone put in. But that's the way it was. You walk, you give a lot of messages by walking. You walk clean across town sometime to carry a message.
Wow.
There was no way to get it there. We didn't have too many cars.
Right.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I know my next question for them is, bringing it a little bit closer to my age range. How did it make you feel to see Barack Obama be elected president?
I was happy, very happy. I mean, I shouted, I cried, everything. And I remember my mother saying she didn't. That was right before she died. She didn't want him to win. She said because they are killing. Said they would kill him. Mhm.
Well, they did not succeed.
They did not.
And listen, for any of the viewers out here who are getting this rawness of the questions we're asking, this is the life that they live, their perception of, civil rights and their perception of, Tony's question, their happiness for Barack Obama. A lot of people say, oh, you voted for him because he was African American. Maybe that was the only thing that linked them to wanting the president. A lot of people voted for Trump because of he stood for what they stood for in ways that obviously financially or even how they felt. So same thing for the African American people as well. So I want to take a step back. So my question to you now, we move past integration, and now you have to get to the real world of post high school
Mhm.
and still kind of dealing with being a minority.
Mhm.
Did you run into any barriers?
Oh, absolutely. Especially, jobs and all.
Right.
Absolutely. I remember working, I won't name, well, I worked for the state. I won't name the agency. I worked for the state, and there were 4 black females, working.
Mhm.
And so, they were all telling what they made and all, and I'm listening because that's what my daddy taught me. You listen, you learn a lot. And they made more than we did. So I went to the governor's office.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't go to your boss.
Mm-mm.
You went straight to the governor.
Well, no, I didn't go to my boss because I had a boss that told me that she wouldn't even raise me like black people.
Okay, well, I understand why you went to the governor.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
So I went to the governor's office, and they sent a um, investigator in there that stayed for a year and then went out in the field too. And he said that his report says that racism was running rampant in that division.
Hmm.
And we found out that we were making $6,000 less because they compared education out $6,000 less than our Caucasian counterparts. But they wouldn't give us retroactive for the time, like we
Right,
started.
right.
We only got a year.
Now, fresh my memory. You college educated.
Yes.
You hold a diploma from a
Hmm.
college institution.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Now, same question for you. Now that you're older, you're out of high school, post high school. Was there a time where you felt like being a minority sometimes was an obstacle in itself?
Yes. I done well, I consider, when I got out until I hit private industry.
Okay.
It was only sold about one person, the family. Uh, you you got treated every kind of way for a while. You be on this job this time, be on another job a week later, dig holes. I mean, literally, you dig holes and cover them back up more or less. Just do this, just see what you would do. And I dug them with a smile. It didn't hurt. His family the same money right on. But I had a family to keep up. And as time went on, some years later, things changed. I was say it didn't take too long. I finally became the first black supervisor that company ever had.
And I was getting ready to get to that. So while y'all thinking I'm trying to go doom and gloom, I wanted to speak to the promotions or opportunities that came from your hard work and biting your tongue. So elaborate on, when you got that opportunity, obviously paid for it.
It was solely was another man bought into the company. He worked there, and he was fair. He was white guy. He was fair. He treated everybody the same.
That's what we want.
And he looked at my work and saw my work, saw what I was doing, and moved me up. So that's how I got it. It was won't no twisting corners or nothing. I got it due to doing my work like I was supposed to do and everything, and it paid off. And I had at that time about 40 employees,
Mm.
and we worked well together. Uh, except for one incident where when the picture roots first come out,
Yeah.
well, that brought a problem in one morning.
And let me rewind for everybody. He said when the picture roots came out. So you can only imagine what he's about to say and be raw about it. So go ahead.
I was raw about it. I went to work the next morning after the ad, and my supervisor told me what he wanted done that day, and I called my men together and was telling them what we had to do. And I had one employee, a white fella, looked at me and Sam said, "Don't worry about it. Just to be quiet. We do you like you done the Kuta Kinte last night." I lost it, and I lost it. I actually lost it, and I tried to hurt him good.
I know that's my daddy. 'Cause I was doing the same thing.
So I done it. I went straight to my supervisor and told him what happened. I said, if you want me to leave the premises, I'll leave. He said, no. He called all my men back together. And he told them how it was going to be, how it wasn't going to be. And that was the end of that.
Solidarity is the word, and that's blacks and whites. That's everybody. That's understanding that it didn't matter the color. There was a job to do, and you just had it done. And I want to rewind to something you said, talking about digging the holes, and you did it with a smile. Young audience, middle-aged audience. I see a lot of y'all that jump straight to Facebook and want to go crazy. So and so told me to do this, or so and so did that to me. Think about the times that now my dad just put it out there, and I've heard many other stories of minorities, but people being suppressed while doing the job, and they just bit their tongue and did what they had to do. And that is an example of how they paved the way for us to be in the positions that we are in today. So I want y'all to just, if there was one thing I called out of that, was just he said he did it with a smile. And Lord knows there's some times I have been wanting to do the same thing. And there's some times where because of the roads that they've paved for us, I've had a voice too. Thank y'all for that. But I've had a voice, but there's some times where you just gotta do it with a smile. That's a sermon right there. Anyway, so all right. Now you talked about how you came up from some tough times, turbulent times, to some opportunities. Now I just happen to know that you've done some stuff for that department, which we won't name,
Right.
like wrote manuals.
Yeah, I wrote manuals. I developed databases. When I went there, they had 2 computers, a laptop that nobody used, and one that was used for accounting.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me use the laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll develop a program because so they let me use it. They didn't think I could do it. They let me use it, and they're still using the same program today.
To this day.
Still use it. But one back to what you said, one thing you got to do. Now I was very vocal.
I know
But
you.
one thing you got to do your work.
Right.
Out of all my career, 20 some years, I I got outstanding, 0, outstanding. Never got anything less than it because I did my work and I did my
And your job,
homework.
your job reviews.
Your job reviews.
Right. And I happen to know this story, so I got the inside scoop
Mhm.
on another program, which I ran into a gentleman on the other side of the world that was taking advantage of a program that he was making tons of money off of with his land that my mother helped develop, the stewardship program.
Yeah.
And I called you,
Mm-hmm.
and this gentleman knew my mother, and he was miles away. I was working, and I was like, my mother actually helped develop that program, if not develop the program. He's like, I made tons of money off of it, Touch. So, so I'm just saying, we have progressed, and as we talk about the obstacles. Now I'm gonna go back one more time, and Tony, I know you got some questions. Now we talked about post high school, post integration. I want to talk about this moment in time right here. Um, Dr. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks,
Mm-hmm.
and Tony asked about Emmett Till. What was you said you watched the radio?
Mm-hmm.
What was your raw feeling? Both of you, women, ladies first. What was
Mm-hmm.
your raw feeling when Dr. Martin Luther King had been pronounced killed?
On that night, on the night that he was shot, we happened to be in a NAACP meeting at the old Princeton Chapel in Princeton, and it was packed because this was to get in. Martin Luther King has been shot, and
Wow.
we let him in, and my dad announced it, and it was just, I mean, people started crying, and it was just bad, you know.
Kind of like that that 9/11 experience.
Yeah, you know, it was a time there. I mean, the
Right.
church packed, and that's why another thing that I think I had a lot of problems because my dad was the president of the NAACP.
And we're going to get into that.
Mhm.
Yep. What about you, Dave?
Well, we first got the news. We hard out first, it's just saying it crossed my mind first thing, who's gonna carry on this movement? Uh, we were really dealing any time then. We needed him most, but I guess God figured it would take control and carry things going. But it was kind of hard to deal with when we went to school the next day, and everybody was down in the slumps.
Just the African American race or black and white?
Well, see, when he got killed, we were still in the black school. But it was we'll tell you, we had one white teacher. They had brought him into the South Campus, and the year before we graduated, we had to graduate then. And he the next day he was trying to do all he could to console us, and I saw more tears come out of his eyes than I did my own. I don't know whether it was a show or whatever, but he was a nice man anyway. But he spent his day working with us. He just got all about math that day and everything else. He tried to work with us, and like I said, after it took a few months after we saw Abernathy and them come in, start trying to work in the movement, keep carrying on, but they won't Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? They were never been this.
Right.
We got to give them credit. They've done their best to keep that movement going, because there was a whole lot of things going on then.
Right.
A lot of things going on. The biggest thing was the integration of schools. That set off a bomb, because they didn't want to be with us and we didn't want to be with them, but the law said we had to do it. That was it.
So before I ask this next question, for one, I didn't really plan on talking much today, because I just wanted to listen. I learn from y'all, learn from Unk because it's my first job and my first career, so I've already seen some things that made me scratch my head, and I've had to stand up for other people that didn't feel comfortable standing up. So I appreciate y'all instilling that in me. My mom brought it to my attention before I asked this question that my late grandmother, she wrote an article in the newspaper years ago about the KKK,
I remember
and
that.
they would not hire her, and nowhere in Johnson County they wouldn't let my mom go to any daycares in Johnson County. So I just wanted to ask, because I know 3 years ago when George Floyd passed away, or not passed away, got killed, we had a march in Smithfield, and we marched to the site where the KKK sign was. There used to be. So how did that make y'all feel, growing up during that time? Did you have any encounters with those people or anything of that nature?
Well, during that time, when you came into Johnson County from Wayne County, there was a sign that said, "You just entered the heart of Plain Country." The heart of Plain Country. It was in Princeton. And then, of course, in Smithfield, there was a sign that said, "You're leaving the heart of Plain Country, come back, welcome back." What was the question, Tommy?
Did you have any encounters, or just what was that like seeing, people acting that way?
Well, I had a lot of encounters. I mean, just say, for instance, when we went to the school and we were coming home, all of us, most of the blacks, well, about all the blacks lived on the south side of the railroad track, and they lived on the north side. But we get out of school one day, and we headed home, and we see all these people on the railroad track, parents and all. So we trying to figure out why they're on the railroad track, because we headed home. And but we got there, and I don't know, somebody started throwing fists, and we told the little kids to run. And one thing we did coming up, we always carry a belt with a belt buckle. And so I had mine, I pulled mine out and railroad rocks, and we had to fight to get home.
Pootie tangle. I think the same way on the airplane.
Mhm.
What about you, Granddaddy?
Hey, I'll say, yeah.
You have to take the sun down.
My encounters weren't quite as bad as actually hers because she was in a small area. We had a few instances, this was in high school, when they put their first Hardee's in Smithfield down on 301. I had some good white friends, know them today now, and we all went to Hardee's one night after a ball game, and a white girl come up with where we were at because she went to school with Triple S too, and told us that Bob, a guy named Bob, we'll call his first name, said, Bob, you and Samson, y'all better watch out. Said those guys over there in that car, said they gonna follow y'all out and run y'all through. It was Bob was white and Larry was white. I was me and 12 black guys, and Bob, we're not worried about that. And when we left Hardee's, they jumped right in behind us and followed us. And Bob pulled up on 3rd Street in Smithfield. And he stopped the car, pulled over and stopped the car and jumped out and said, come on, y'all, let's go to Trump. He went to the Trump.
Into the trunk.
So, from there, that's when I kind of pieced together really everybody's not bad.
Right.
He stood his ground with us and against them. He wasn't about to let them jump on us and that. So that was the instance where this kind of thing happened in some way. You had something that won't quite that way,
Man, listen, hold up. Shout out to Bob. Check this out. Bob had that Draco, didn't he?
Yeah, Drake, the big Draco.
Draco.
But this is my last question. Other than that, I just want to listen. But I wanted to ask Nima. I didn't know that great granddaddy was president of the NAACP. Just explain like what kind of man he was to people that don't know, and his name.
In his role.
Yeah. I didn't know that person.
His name was Bishop Nathaniel Walker.
Bishop
Nathaniel Walker. Yes, he was the president in NAACP, and there was an incident where they had field day, and of course there was a fight. Well, the next day, the sheriff came and picked up all the black guys and carried them to jail. Parents didn't know. So when that happened, that's when we had to walk out. We walked out. Everybody walked out. Cafeteria, janitors, everybody walked out. And so they didn't know what to think. So my dad, he called Greensboro. I guess that's the headquarters, and told them what happened. They sent 3 lawyers down here. And it word of mouth. St. Stephen was packed that night with people, and we raised money to, help get them out of jail. And what happened with that was the school board came to our house, and my dad was sitting there reading a book, and we have a screen door, and the other door because you didn't have air conditioning. And they said, Nathaniel, we want to talk to you. He said, okay. And he didn't get up. They said, well, you gonna let us in? He said, no. Stand right there and talk. So that's what they had to do. But he negotiated. We were out, we boycotted 3 days, but he negotiated, and we didn't get any zeros. And
that's the power of people.
Mm-hmm.
That was the true power of the NAACP
Right.
that I saw all the way up until now.
Yeah.
And what, I'm not going to, I don't want to discredit the NAACP, but I've seen and heard those stories that you just told, and how the NAACP would literally step up, step in, show up, show out.
Mm-hmm.
And today, I don't think the NAACP is as strong as a organization as it used to be. My opinion, I could be wrong. Don't shoot me. But had to be very strong at that time.
Yeah, it was very strong. And the thing about not being as strong now, you got to join. You got to join.
Right.
You got to join it. You got to make the difference. We counting on y'all. We counting on y'all to take it further.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah, we done all we can do.
Man, that's
I mean, you were talking about the march.
We on
I was watching the march. I was for the march. I was for the march. I mean, I can't march, but I can get on my scooter. But
Mama got jokes.
You could be the first one at it.
So, I think we really wanted to channel and kind of get that rawness of how it was growing up in Johnston County. And I think we did that. We can go on for days.
Yeah.
And just because today is the end of Black History Month doesn't mean these conversations are going to stop. Me and Donna Madison, shout out Donna Madison, we have these one-on-one conversations all the time about how we need to talk about this. I have so many people that now will walk up to me. You still doing the podcast? Yes, we are. And they'll ask, man, we're glad you're talking about some of these issues. We're going to continue these issues. We can go on for another hour at least. But we know y'all want to watch State be Duke tonight. We understand that. But this is the last question that I have for both of you. Do you feel like we've come a long way? And I'm going to bring this up because this is something that bothers me. The Trump presidency. I feel like it took steps backwards there. I don't want to go in too deep about it because, like I said, people like Trump for what they want to like him for. I never said you couldn't like him. I'm just saying. I didn't like him. Still check my public record. I am an independent voter. I make my decisions based off of what me. Now, that was just the presidency I didn't like. How do you feel in regards to where we are now, today, in racial division, and from what you've seen?
I think, well, one thing I don't understand is how people can see what happened, what he did, all of that, but they still follow him. I just can't comprehend that.
Understand?
I just can't comprehend that. But like I said a while ago, I'm counting on y'all. I want people to. I mean, you on social media. They got news on social media. Read the news sometimes. Analyze who's running. I mean, it's okay to look at all the other stuff, but you got to be educated so you can make a good decision.
Right.
And we don't want to go backwards.
No.
Because my mom and daddy fought to vote. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we don't want to go backwards. We want to go forward.
Right.
So we want y'all to take us further. We don't want history to repeat itself.
Right.
And some of that is happening now.
Right.
Taking rights away.
Right.
So I don't want history to repeat itself.
Equal rights and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
What you speak on.
Yes.
That, in your opinion, where do you feel like we are now? You feel like we're in a better place? Where you come from?
Well, yes. That's because back 50 years ago, y'all would have had to been that experience. You know where we come from. So I automatically feel that we are in a better place, and I feel that President Obama paved that way. He done a lot of work during his term, and President come behind him and try to tear it all down. So as long as there's politics, you go always have a rise and fall. One party's gonna feel one way or another. I always say to myself, how does 50 men stand on this side of the aisle and vote against everything? 50 over here stand over here and vote for it. It's always been a balance scale of what they consider a balance. But you know what it is? I'll say this to black young men. There's a lot of give and take. And you're going to have to do the same thing I've done. You got to give and take. But whatever you do, if you start doing it, you do it right. And if you're right and you know you're right, you stand fast. Don't let nobody knock you down. That's just stand fast. Because that's what they want to do. If you build yourself up, they knock your feet out from under you. So stand fast with what you believe in. And if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And if I can help you, I will. Everybody know who I am. So.
Let me tell y'all something. I need the hand in B3 right now. I'm telling you, boy, that was the preaching, eh?
But like I said, we're gonna make it. It's gonna be drops and rises. Even after I'm dead and gone, but like my wife said, we kind of looking for y'all to take over this thing. I can't do too much now. Things came now.
Well, we plan on doing just that. That's what this show is about. But listen, we actually gonna take that segment. I feel like and we're gonna put this segment out there. This right here is fact. A lot of y'all can't watch it for several reasons. A lot of y'all want to watch sports. We understand. But man, this has been good to my soul. I've heard these stories and had some of these conversations. But good googly movie. This is good to me. So thank y'all for coming on to the show. I want to say it. Love y'all.
Love you.
Love you, Tony.
And we appreciate y'all coming on. We wanted to get this done last week. This ain't gonna be the last time y'all on the show. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. We're gonna have several more opportunities to speak on some of these matters as well. We do a little bit of everything, right, nephew? We do a little bit of sports. We do a little bit of current event. We do some real. You see, we get real. So, you want your ways spinning. You want your ways spinning. And then we got the Captain Crunch socks. This is going out 1 hour on next week's show. Then we got some other sponsors coming up. It's going to provide us with some more merch, some more gear, some more swag. We might be sponsoring some Amazon gift cards or a haircut. We might even give a car away.
Let me get them right. He getting carried away, y'all. But anyways, I wanted to say thank you, Be My Granddaddy, for coming out. Also cooking. In North Carolina, I got to eat some of y'all food. But I just appreciate y'all bringing that perspective for my generation. A lot of people ask me why, wise and I don't do certain things. And it's because of y'all and my from y'all, and I appreciate it. And we're gonna continue to fight.
Good.
Gentlemen, we appreciate you in the cornbread commentary. You got a mouthful of cornbread today. All right, so we love you. We appreciate you. Go watch State beat Duke. I know I'm not a State fan, but I'm pulling for you tonight. All right. So we'll see you next week on the cornbread commentary.